Hello class and welcome to week 10. Wow, it's been a wild ride. We've learned to do things like massive filter effects such as the liquefy, to do warps and transitions. We've learned how to create patterns, and now we're going to learn how to combine things together in order to create mock-ups. For example, if we had, say, a image of a model and we had a pattern we created, how would we make it look like the model is wearing that? Well, we're going to cover how the tips and techniques for that this week. Turns out a lot of layers and a lot of adjustments in order to make everything happen the way that you want it to happen. So we'll be covering that in the next set of videos, but before we get there, we'll need to cover Puppet Warp as well as the pen tool for creating masks. But I thought before we delved into all of that, it might be nice to take a look at some of the student works throughout the semesters. So let's just show you some of the incredible work that can be done using these techniques. So here's the original. This pattern was then applied to create this effect. And do note, these are labeled correctly. Once you get a hold of your assignment, it will require 3 layers in the end. And you'll notice that I have one file essentially to turn in. It's got mock-up content and original photo. But I also have the one that I worked on that has all of these additional files in it. All right, we have another great piece of student work. Check out this one. Here's the original. Here's what was applied. Here's the end result. Isn't that lovely? Here's another great one. Here's the original. Here's what was being applied. Here's the end result. Now, I would strongly recommend, unless you're looking for a massive challenge, use a model wearing very light or white clothing with good lighting on it. Otherwise, you're in for a world of pain. Here is, it just keeps wanting to go back to here. Here is, and this one got a little out of order. Remember, don't forget to rename these correctly. Here's the pattern, and here is the original photo. Here's the end result. I think that worked out quite nicely. No, don't save. I'm going to close these so we stop looking at them. All right, here's another great piece of student work. Here's the original. Very smart, sticking with very light clothing. Here's the pattern that was applied. And here's the end result. Look how well this bends around the cloth. Well done. Here's a fun one. Here's the original. The mock-up, they just tore it down to this very image and nothing else on it. Here's the content. You can just, of course, Control-Alt-Shift-E, and then you would have your mock-up layer with everything attached, which is really what you should be doing just to be on the safe side. Here is, I thought this had a nice soft effect to it, but there were some issues. Namely, this needed to be flattened again, Control-Alt-Shift-E, so that you would have the mock-up. And then you would have the original file. Or, sorry, photo. And then you'd have your content. So make sure to correct little typos like that at the end before you turn it in. It's a common mistake. But other than that, the work was quite nice. I liked how this looked like a very real material, very soft effect. And how they achieved that was actually using a difference mode, which I thought was clever as well. And lastly, I think this one is just absolutely brilliant. Here's the original. Here's the content. And I would have preferred if this had been just the pattern, like not the warped one, but sometimes you end up in a situation where that's all you have. And then the final effect. It's a bit smeared here, but other than that, this worked out quite beautifully, especially given the hair going over it, which is a pain to cover. So that's what you have that's what you can look forward to making. I think that this assignment's very useful. One of my first jobs out of college was creating mock-ups of rings that had different icons and logos and things inside of it, and I needed to make them look realistic. They were going up on the small company's website, and also for print, so that they could show off what it would look like with different logos and things going in. And so I would just mock those up, hand them off, and then they would hand off the files. They'd put them up on their website, and they would print them out and show them as brochures. So that's really a useful skill. The key to this really is something called displacement maps, and we'll be covering that as well. You'll find a lot of videos online that just cover use Liquify, or just cover, use displacement maps, or just covers, use smudge. No, you need to use everything that's available to you. So start with the displacement map, do all the liquefying that you need to do, then do any little tweaks and rotations with Puppet Warp, and you'll be good to go. You'll understand what all that means once you cover the next set of videos. All right, have fun. If you have any questions, let me know.